The year is 1519. In the heart of what is now Mexico, the Spanish conquistadors issued a decree that changed the course of agricultural history. They did not ban a weapon. They did not ban a religion. They banned a plant. Soldiers were ordered to burn thousands of acres of crimson fields. Storage jars were smashed. The punishment for anyone caught possessing or cultivating this crop was not a fine. It was the amputation of hands or execution. For 300 years, the colonial powers tried to erase this organism from the face of the earth. They hunted it down with the same ferocity they used to hunt rebels. Why? Because this plant was not just food. It was the biological fuel of the Aztec Empire. It provided more protein than wheat, more calcium than milk, and contained an essential amino acid profile that allowed a civilization to thrive without cattle. The Europeans knew that to conquer the people, they had to destroy their source of strength. So they pushed it into the shadows. They branded it as pagan, dangerous, and uncivilized. And they succeeded. Today, if you walk past a construction site or look into a neglected ditch on the side of the road, you will see a plant with reddish stems and broad leaves rising from the dust. You probably call it pigweed. You have been taught that it is a nuisance that steals water from your real crops. But you are looking at the survivors of a botanical genocide. Hidden inside those wild leaves is the lost protein that NASA calls the food of the future. The plant that was illegal to grow is now growing everywhere, waiting for us to remember what it really is. Welcome to Ancestral Soil. To understand why they tried to kill this plant and why it refused to die, we must go back to the height of the empire that worshipped it. If you believe that food should never be forgotten, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell. Let's reopen the archive. The archive opens in Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztec world, a city that rivaled the greatest capitals of Europe. Here, in the vast markets that stunned the Spanish invaders, one crop was traded more than any other. It was not corn. It was huautli, the ancient name for amaranth. Every year, 20,000 tons of these tiny grains were brought into the capital as tribute. It was the backbone of the Aztec diet. While corn provided the carbohydrates, amaranth provided the strength. It fueled the runners who carried messages across mountains and the warriors who built an empire. But to the Aztecs, this plant was more than calories. It was flesh. During their most sacred festivals, they did not bake bread. They ground roasted amaranth seeds, mixed them with agave honey, and according to the terrified accounts of Spanish friars, sometimes mixed them with sacrificial blood. They shaped this sticky paste into the likeness of their gods Huitzilopochtli, the god of war, and Tlaloc, the god of rain. In a ritual known as Teoqualo, literally God-eating, the people would break these amaranth statues into pieces and consume them, believing they were taking the power of the divine into their own bodies. When the Spanish Catholic priests witnessed this, they were horrified. They did not see a harvest festival. They saw a blasphemous mockery of the Christian communion. They saw the work of the devil. Hernán Cortés realized that as long as the Aztecs had amaranth, they had both their physical strength and their spiritual connection. To conquer the people, he had to starve their gods. The order was given, destroy the crop, burn the fields, cut off the hands of anyone who hides the seeds. The golden grain was driven underground. The Spanish thought they had won. They replaced the protein-rich fields of the Americas with European wheat and cattle. But nature does not obey the laws of men. 500 years later, the ghost of the Aztec Empire has returned to the very fields that tried to erase it. And this time it brought a weapon that modern technology cannot defeat. That weapon was evolution. The battlefield shifted from the mountains of Mexico to the vast soy and corn fields of the United States. Here, modern agriculture declared a new war. They didn't use fire. They used chemistry. Corporations like Monsanto engineered crops that could withstand massive doses of glyphosate, a herbicide designed to kill every green thing it touched. For years it worked. The fields were sterile, silent, and profitable. But around 2004, farmers in Georgia noticed something disturbing. In the middle of the dead zones where nothing was supposed to grow, a familiar red stem was rising. They sprayed it again. It didn't die. They increased the dosage. The plant just grew faster. This was Palmer amaranth, a close relative of the sacred Aztec grain. Under the pressure of chemical warfare, the plant had mutated. It didn't just learn to survive the poison, it learned to eat it. Scientists discovered that this superweed had developed a genetic resistance so advanced it baffled biologists. It became a monster of our own making. Today, in the American South, this plant is the stuff of nightmares for industrial farmers. It grows 3 inches a day. It can reach 10 feet tall, thick as a baseball bat. It is so tough that it wraps around the steel axles of million-dollar combine harvesters and snaps them like twigs. It has cost the U.S. agricultural industry billions of dollars. The irony is profound. The Spanish tried to ban it with laws, and it survived. The modern world tried to poison it with chemicals, and it became indestructible. We call it a weed because it refuses to be controlled. We call it an enemy because it breaks our machines. But while we are busy fighting it, we are missing the most important clue. Why is this plant fighting so hard to live? What is it trying to offer us that we are too blind to see? It turns out the monster in the cornfield is actually a treasure chest. While farmers were trying to poison it, scientists began to analyze it, and what they found inside those tiny seeds shocked them. In 1985, a different kind of explorer took an interest in this plant, not conquistadors, but rocket scientists. NASA was looking for the ultimate food to sustain astronauts on long space missions. They needed a crop that grew fast, resisted disease, and provided complete nutrition. They didn't choose wheat. They didn't choose corn. They chose amaranth. NASA declared it a vital crop for the controlled ecological life support system. Why? Because amaranth solves a biological puzzle that most grains cannot. You see, staple crops like wheat and rice are chemically flawed. They are missing a crucial amino acid called lysine. Without it, your body cannot fully build muscle or repair tissue. That is why you cannot survive on bread alone. But amaranth is different. It is a complete protein. It contains a near-perfect balance of all essential amino acids, including the elusive lysine. It has more protein than wheat, more calcium than milk, and 3 times more fiber than wheat. And unlike modern wheat, which has triggered a global wave of gluten intolerance, amaranth is naturally gluten-free. It is a biological powerhouse. The tragedy of modern agriculture is that we have spent the last century perfecting the wrong crops. We rely on corn and soy, which require massive amounts of water, fertilizer, and protection to survive. They are weak. Meanwhile, amaranth grows in droughts that turn corn to dust. It thrives in poor soil. It produces up to 500,000 seeds from a single plant. We are poisoning the strong to protect the weak. We are killing the medicine to grow the filler. The Aztecs were right. This wasn't just food, it was a survival strategy engineered by nature itself. And the best part, it hasn't disappeared. It has traveled. It crossed oceans and borders, disguising itself as a humble vegetable to survive. In India, it became Rajgira, the royal grain. In Vietnam, it is Rau Den. It appears in every market, a staple of rural life. We boil it into a soup that paints our rice with the color of garnets. We eat it because it is cheap, easy to grow, and sweet. But even here, we have only remembered half the story. We eat the leaves, but we often ignore the seeds, the thousands of tiny pearls that the plant produces at the end of its life. We treat them as dust. Yet those seeds are the very thing the Aztecs died to protect. They are the protein capsules that can last for 40 years in the soil without spoiling. The plant that conquered the Spanish Empire and defeated American herbicides is not just a vegetable, it is a backup plan for humanity. As our climate warms and our water sources dry up, the wheat and corn we rely on will struggle. They are fragile giants. But Amaranth was born in fire. It does not fear the heat. So the next time you see this red-stemmed plant rising in a vacant lot or growing uninvited in your garden, do not pull it out. Do not spray it. Watch it. Let it go to seed. Harvest those tiny grains. Roast them, pop them, or plant them again. By doing so, you are not just growing food. You are participating in an act of resistance that spans 500 years. You are keeping the forbidden grain alive. This knowledge was hidden for centuries, but it was never lost. It was just waiting for the right hands to find it. If this vault unlocked something for you, please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell. Like and share this video to help the seeds travel further. The next vault opens soon.